Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we're back with another video. In this video guys, we're gonna talk about the Sean Diddy Combs trial and the Jane Doe that has taken the stand within the past 2 days. Because I've been seeing a lot of comments and people have been accusing me of doxing a federal witness. Now, this is the thing with social media, because the court is saying that, or specifically Judge Aron Subramani saying that he will issue a gag order to media outlets if they have revealed Jane Doe's name, who we all already know it's Daphne Joy. Now, this is the thing, and this is where common sense comes in, and I realize that many people, they love to use fear factor, and they believe because a judge and the courtroom says something, it holds any validity to it. I have common sense, and I just want to impart some of that with you guys at this point in time. Long before this trial, in the Little Rod's lawsuit, Little Rod had named Daphne Joy. He was specific about her roles and her actions, right? Before Little Rod filed that lawsuit, there were some rumors going around on the internet that was alleging that Daphne Joy was with Diddy. Daphne Joy had posts on social media tagging Diddy and Diddy's photograph. So now, to accuse people of doxing this woman when no one doxed her, I find it to be very ridiculous, like very, very ridiculous. And people wanting to use fear factor against me, I find it to be like so ridiculous, because I did not dox this woman. I only sat down and I came to the realization it's Daphne Joy. And when I came to the realization it's Daphne Joy, and I said, let me go look on the internet, because I know I'm not the only one who could see it's Daphne Joy. The internet was saying it's Daphne Joy. So, for people to be in my comment section saying that I've doxed a federal witness, no, honey. You're not going to turn that one on me. The court knows damn well what they did. They did not protect Daphne Joy well enough. They did not protect her good enough, okay? Because what they should have done is to keep her testimony out of public records, because if they had said, Jane Doe had taken the stand today against Sean Diddy Combs, they were lazy. The legal system was lazy in this case, and they're the ones who failed her, not us, the public. We're not obligated to the legal system. We're not obligated to Daphne Joy or Diddy to not use our common sense. We are obligated to not violate the law. And using your common sense is not a violation of the law. We did not use any additional tools or resources. We did not go and check any dockets and pull any dockets from anywhere. It was just reasonable reasoning, common sense, and context that was already there. And there were things that came out during Jane Doe's testimony that basically pointed back to her. Everything was screaming Daphne Joy. And I can say it because I'm not the legal system. I did not take any additional steps to reveal her identity. It is her testimony that revealed her identity. So with Judge Aron Subramani saying that, they're going to have to look into it and issue the media outlets a gag order, I want to see Judge Aron Subramani issue the media outlets a gag order when the court, the legal system, had failed to protect their witness. And this is something that we see so often, wherein this is why people do not get involved in cases, because the legal system will make a promise to you and they cannot hold up their end of the bargain. It was the prosecutor's responsibility to ensure that this woman's identity would remain protected, and protected by all means and all costs. Jane Doe doesn't offer that protection because there were things out here already in the public that made the identity be known. There were specific details that had already revealed her identity long before the trial, long before she took the stand. The public knew it was her that was going to take the stand. So I don't know what they're talking about and what people want to come into my comment section. Oh my God, you have doxed a federal witness. First of all, you guys need to use a dictionary, right? Use a dictionary. Because when you're going to assume and accuse someone of committing a crime that they did not commit, you're the problem right here. I'm not the problem. You cannot tell me not to use common sense and well thinking. You cannot. You cannot do that. You could suggest that, hey, you figured out who this woman is, but I wouldn't have put it in the video. But even if I did not put it in the video, I want to give you guys an example. I want you guys to check any blog sites, whether you go on Shade Room. If you go on the Shade Room, if you go on Hollywood Unlocked, you would see her name, right? Now, if you go back to Little Rod's lawsuit last year, and even the discussions that were had after the Little Rod lawsuits, if you go on Lipstick Alley, if you go on many of these, discussion threads, her name was long already out there, and people were long saying she is going to testify against Diddy. So how is that doxing? And how is it that people want to come at me and point fingers at me for just saying it? It was being said, so I'm not in the Guinness Book of World Record here because I didn't break a record and I did not set one. I did not violate any legal orders. I did not commit a crime because I didn't take any additional steps. I didn't pull an address for Daphne Joy. I didn't pull a previous address for her. I did not pull a date of birth for her. I did not pull the credit card details for her. I used common sense and well thinking. And in this case, I did not use it to commit a crime. I used it and I said, oh, Jane Doe is Daphne Joy. It's all pointing to her, and it was long already out here. And I used a reference that people could know that it is her. And social media did the same thing. They used reference, things that was already said, things that was already shared, things that were already in the public. Now, there's another thing that I want you all to think of and look into, because I know. Once it comes to a Jamaican girl with an accent talking about American celebrities, there's already a disparity, because for some reason, I don't know what it is, but every time I do a video, and when I have it like that and I hit it out the park, I still get hate for it. No matter how good my contents are, I'm gonna get hate. And it comes with a territory. And y'all don't just do this to me only because I'm a Jamaican. Y'all do this to your own fellow American. It's as though you all want to lead content creators and treat them like they're horses. You could just tie a rope and put on a saddle, and you want to keep them in line and keep them in control. If they do right, they're wrong. And if they go the extra mile to do the right thing, they're still wrong. And y'all need to use common sense, because the court cannot tell the public that not to use her name. The court needs to take accountability for their action. They can tell the public to cease and desist, But how do you tell the public to cease and desist when you yourself, the legal system, did not go above and beyond to protect this witness? So, the question is, if we're using our common sense, is it on us? Absolutely not. The court should have kept her testimony out of the public eye. That is something that should have been examined. It's like common sense at this point in time. Like, God damn it. Let common sense reign. Like, let common sense be great again. You cannot do wrong as a legal system. You cannot fail a witness as a legal system. And then you want to point fingers at the public because you failed a witness. It's not making any sense. And this is how people get brainwashed and manipulated. They can always tell the media to cease and desist from using her name, but then again, the media can still use her name and say, social media users are saying this witness is this, and this is what the media outlet is doing. So, if you look at the media outlets that are reporting on it, over 10 of them have her name. What is the court going to do about it? Tell these media outlets to not use her name? Tell these media outlets to not make reference to social media users? The court cannot do that. It doesn't make sense. It is something that they have to take accountability for. They failed the witness, and that's just simply it. That's where it starts, and that's where it ends. It has nothing to do with us, besides we were just using common sense. And as Judge Arun Subramania says, he says everyone is investigating these things, but he will look into what the media outlet is doing, because Judge Arun Subramania is no fool. He knows that content creators are smart. Many people want to discredit content creators and say, but you people are not journalists. But what defines a journalist? Because many content creators do far better quality work than what many people would classify as a journalist. More content creators have far better credibility than many journalists. So at the end of the day, no judge can put a gag order on a content creator for using common sense and say, oh, this was in the Little Rod's lawsuit. So if this was in the Little Rod's lawsuit, and Little Rod said this was Daphne Joy, and the person on the stand, Jane Doe, is saying the same thing, it has to be Daphne Joy. And when she used the birthday reference, and people say, oh, but yungmiami's Daphne Joy's birthday is on the 5th, and yungmiami's birthday is on the 8th, so it's common sense people are using. No court can hold an individual accountable for using common sense once they did not go in and break a law or violate anything. The court cannot hold us accountable for them not protecting their witness. We did not do anything wrong. We did not pull up any special website. We did not pull any court documents. It was long out here before this trial. So, don't come at me with your fear factors, because there's one thing I know, and that is I have common sense, and y'all need to have it. Y'all might be sad that her name is out there. She is going to be sad for now that her name is out there, but at the end of the day, it's going to bring her a sigh of relief that she really doesn't have to hide in those shadows anymore, and she doesn't have to hide in those darkness, and she's going to come out with a book and try to make some money, because I don't see why she wouldn't at this point in time. I think she needs to write a book because she was treated unfairly. We didn't treat her unfairly. We're helping her to be liberated from those demons, and that's just as I see it. And I do believe that she's owed a lot more money, because when I look into the figures that was thrown out there during these discussions, you know that that woman was treated unfairly. I don't see her as a prostitute. I don't see her as a sex worker. I don't see her as a woman that is dumb, stupid, nor slow. I see her as a woman who was in love, and her love was taken as weakness, and her kindness was taken as weakness, and she was taken disadvantage of. She was psychologically groomed and manipulated by a predator to do things that she wouldn't have done under normal circumstances. She's not the first. We can pray and hope that she's the last, but I think that we're already too late to that. So the thing is, this needs to be a teachable moment for the legal system and all of us, no exceptions. So I can't tell you all to tone down on your BS, but like hell, I'm not the one to be bullied. Neither am I the two. If I stay quiet and if I stay observing, it's because I wanna. If I don't clap back, it's because I don't want to clap back. But y'all need to use common sense. The court cannot even send the media outlets a gag order at this point in time. The courts are the one that fails the witness because they're saying that people are trying to uncover the identity, and Judge Aaron Subramanian is saying they're going to send the media a gag order. So if the media is wrong about her identity, why would you send the media outlet a gag order? Where is the doxing? It's all common sense at this point in time, and we should let common sense reign at the end of the day. The legal system failed this woman, not us. They should have kept her testimony out of public records, and if they had done that, we would still assume and figure out who is Jane Doe. We're not slow. We're just not slow. The thing is that I've always said the world is changing and people are evolving. We're no longer being controlled by the darkness. The light is leading us and we're being led to the light. Like that is how it is supposed to be. It might be painful for her. And when everyone started calling her name, people did not call her name to inflict pain. Many people did it to inflict insult and pain, but I know more than the half did not mean her any pain or insults because I've been looking at the comment section. What happened to this woman should have never happened, and this is what happens when people facilitate a monster behavior. Diddy's behavior was it was far too long being facilitated and supported, and this is why he needs to be held accountable for the things that he has done. I'm not looking at any of these women outside of anything besides them being a victim. I'm not looking at them as prostitutes. I'm not looking at them as sex workers because I'm smart enough to know the difference between a prostitute, a sex worker, versus when a woman has been coerced into sex trafficking. Hence why they have different terminologies, and hence why sex trafficking is a thing, and hence why the government bodies worldwide are forming a coalition together to put an end to sex trafficking because they are aware that sex trafficking doesn't start or stop at women only. It involves everyone. Kids, men, boys, girls, you name it. So we need to think and we need to use common sense at all times. The legal system needs to do better at protecting victims. And this is not the first time we're seeing the legal system failing a victim. And I doubt it's going to be the last time. So if you want to be brainwashed by the legal system to point hands at everyone else besides the people who were in control of this case, you guys can do that. At the end of the day, we're all welcome to our opinion. And sometimes the difference of opinions, it can be a beautiful thing. Even when it hurts at times, we can develop, we can grow, and we can move past that. However, my point is, common sense, I did not dox this girl. I just use logical, reasonable thinking. And even when I mentioned her name a few days ago, her name was being mentioned from last year. I did not do that. So, if you want to cast blame, you can always cast it. But your blame and the fingers that you're pointing, it doesn't make sense. Your fingers need to be pointed in one direction, or maybe two. Diddy and the legal system. And that's where it should start and end. And that's just my 2 cents on that. Hope it makes sense once again. But if it doesn't, leave a comment below. And if it does, still leave a comment below. Peace.